Coming up.
What is the worst thing that can happen?
Small, tiny children.
Did you open their eyes or did they open your eyes?
It's a superpower.
For some reason, I'm waving, and I don't know why I'm waving, but I'm waving, okay?
Golly, oh gosh, it's those scripts.
Oh golly, it's those scripts, yeah.
It was a hit job.
It leans into things like Winter Solstice.
It's your show. You do what you want.
Not this time.
It's actually really nice to read.
Not this time.
I know you've got this.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. I don't think it was meant as one.
That could sound quite sinister.
There's going to be nothing original here, I tell you.
And now, enjoy the podcast.
How do you say that?
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 Hello and welcome to How Do You Say That, sponsored by BritishVoiceover.co.uk. Here is Mark Rice, my co-host.
Oh, yes. And here's Sam Boffin, my co-host. Hello, Sam.
Yes, hello. Every week, we ask the question, how do you say that? And we invite a special guest onto the show. And we bring along some cracking scripts and we all have a go at voicing them.
Because there isn't just one way to read a script. There are lots and lots of different ways. So, Sam, a bit of true or false before we get going. I once had a puppy called Poppy who turned out to be highly allergic to poppies. Well, most flowers, actually. True or false?
Ooh, a puppy called Poppy. That's the kind of thing you would do. For a start. You like little lady dogs. Lady dogs? What the hell is a lady dog? You like a lady dog. I think, but the important thing here is highly allergic to puppies and you called her Poppy. I think, yes, let's go for that. Let's say true.
It's false.
No,
made it up.
Did you actually have a puppy called Poppy at all?
No.
Oh.
I just thought it was a nice one to
Very disappointing, isn't it? I once spent the whole day at school with a curler in my hair, and I only discovered it when I got home. True or false?
Oh, that's a nightmare that adolescence is made of, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to say true.
It was true. And the next day, of course, everyone said, yeah, we all noticed it. We just thought it was very funny. It was in the back of my hair. And me, who has such curly hair, what I was trying to do was tame it, make it less of a boofy curl. But I'd left this stupid curler in. Oh,
I love it.
So ashamed.
I love it. Well, of course, we also have our very special guest, voice actor Sharon Dominey. Hello, Sharon. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Sam.
Hello,
so lovely to have you along.
For some reason, I'm waving, and I don't know why I'm waving.
No,
but I'm
waving is
okay?
good. Waving is good.
I'm going to wave to you. Hi, Sharon.
Let's find out a little bit more about Sharon, shall we?
Sharon is originally from Kent, but she's now based in Yorkshire. She was an accountant working in banking and finance for over 20 years until she left her career in 2015 because she wanted to do something a lot more fun with her life. And she didn't know quite what that was going to be until, dun, 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 somebody asked her to voice a video for them and she loved it.
Oh, well, when COVID happened in 2020, she realised that she needed some extra skills to help with her voiceover career. So she started an acting degree in Leeds just as she turned 50. And now she's a voiceover who specialises in business and corporate voiceovers with added character skills as well. Well, welcome along, Sharon. Have you got a fun fact for us?
I lived in Australia for a couple of years, and there was one time I very nearly ran over Steffi Graf.
What?
Oh my God.
Seriously? How?
Seriously,
Why?
yeah. How? Why? Yeah, I was aiming for her. No.
Really, really hate
it. Was a hit job. We were living in South Yarra, which is just close to where they hold the Australian Open.
Right.
I'm guessing she must have maybe forgotten what side of the road the Australians drive on and just stepped out in front of traffic.
Oh, my God.
So there was just that brief where I've slammed on the brakes. That moment where your eyes meet and it's like, right, is everyone all right? Good. And then she carried on her way. And I was just sat there for a moment going, that was Steffi Graf. Did I really kill Steffi Graf? Oh, well. Then someone tooted the horn behind and
would have been
went.
a big headline. It has to be said.
Right, new balls, please. Let's have a look at the first script of our show and ask, how do you say that?
How do you say that?
Now, Sam, what on earth have we got here? It looks like a character piece of some kind.
It is a character piece of some kind. It's a little video game.
All right. What can you tell us about this character from the video game?
Yeah, it's a fairly grounded but sort of fantasy world.
Okay.
This is talking to her daughter, actually.
Who's called Mia? I get that from the script.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she is about to leave to go looking for her son.
What kind of age? Your kind of age? So around...
Yes, I mean, yeah, but as is the case with a lot of video games, if, people
Doesn't really
say
matter,
50s,
does it?
it means ancient. No, not ancient, but,
Old crone.
Old crone, no.
It felt like, as Sam said, that it's basically, it was a parent telling their child, it's like, I'm nipping out, don't let anyone in, all right? Essentially that.
Effectively, it is exactly that. I'm nipping out. It's a very long nip, I would say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, I'm not Ellyn or Ellie, but I'll play the part. All right.
Yes.
See what I get out of this. Okay. Hey, if someone comes a knocking, and they might, don't go flinging the door open like you do for the hens. Watch them through the glass first. If they ask for me, but don't say my name right, Ellyn, not Ellyn or Ellie, don't trust a word out of their mouth. If they say they're from the keep, ask them who braided your hair last winter solstice. If they can't answer, you bolt the door and don't let them in. I know you're brave, braver than me some days, but there's things walking the roads now that wear borrowed smiles. Don't you forget now, Mia.
Do you know that it's so interesting that you chose that accent?
I liked it. It was good. An interesting choice of accent.
It just came to me. I don't know why.
So where did you imagine you were, Mark?
Outside the hen house.
Oh,
To be honest,
outside the hen house.
in the
Okay.
kind of yard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. No, so that's interesting. So you were outside. Okay. That's interesting, if only because somebody might have overheard you if you were outside.
But I figure she could see around. There wasn't anyone around.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Absolutely. The reason it's an interesting accent is because we did consider that accent.
Ah.
We didn't actually use that accent,
Okay.
but we did really consider it.
I love West Country because it leans into things like Winter Solstice.
It does,
It
doesn't it?
leans into it beautifully.
But I did like it, and it felt very grounded.
Oh, that's good. Grounded that's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
I was trying not to go too, because I know some characters that I do go massively over the top, and they're much more cartoony. I'm hoping that this was grounded in some kind of reality.
It was.
If I was Mia, I'd behave myself. I would.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Because that's the thing. You've got to convince this girl. How old's the girl? Do we know?
Well, she's in her late teens, in fact.
Oh, right. So if
she's
she's
not
told
a
something
small
by a parent,
child.
she's away.
Yeah.
She'll do the opposite.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, right.
Well, I'm interested to see what you might do with it, Sharon, to be fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. If someone comes knocking, and they might, don't go flinging the door open like you do for the hens. Watch them through the glass first. If they ask for me, but don't say my name right, Ellyn, not Ellyn or Ellie, don't trust a word out their mouth. If they say they're from the keep, ask them who braided your hair last winter solstice. If they can't answer, bolt the door and don't let them in. I know you're brave, braver than me some days. But there's things walking the roads now that wear borrowed smiles. Don't you forget now, Mia.
There was a kind of resignation in that mother's voice, that she knows that Mia is listening but not really listening. And I thought you brought that across really nicely.
And I thought you dealt with the names really nicely.
Yes.
That Ellyn. Yeah, I thought that was great. And you did do that sort of switch. It's almost not breezy at the beginning, but it's almost like, I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it to you now. And then it's almost like now look, I really want you to listen. So I think you really got that I know you're brave bit. Yeah.
Were you imagining indoors there, Sharon, as opposed to me imagining outdoors? Because it was a kind of quieter register almost.
I'm thinking I'm at the doorway. I'm about to go, and this is almost like the last thing I'm saying to her before I'm leaving. So I've got my coat on. I'm ready to go, and it's like, okay, just behave yourself. A little bit of put the fear of God into her, but then just take it down a level. It's like, I know you're brave.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you've got this.
Yeah, and that came across nicely. Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I'm interested how you're going to flesh this world out for us, Sam.
Right then. Okay. Now, if someone comes knocking, and they might, don't you go flinging the door open like you do for the hens. Watch 'em through the glass first. And if they ask for me, but, I don't know, don't say my name right, Ellyn, not Ellyn or Ellie, don't trust a word out of their mouth. If they say they're from the keep, ask 'em who braided your hair last winter solstice. And if they can't answer, bolt the door and don't let 'em in. Oh, look, I know you're brave, braver than me some days. But there's things walking the roads now that wear borrowed smiles. Don't you forget it, Mia.
There was a touch of estuary there.
Touch, was there?
Touch of
A little bit.
estuary. Going down that side. I tell you what, it invoked kind of misty streets for me. It's like the fog swirling, which almost put me in a different place than I had been in.
Actually, interestingly, she is inside the house. And she's just finished packing and she's just going. So that was the idea of it. But and then she sort of comes back. I know you're brave.
Yeah.
On that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think all three of our reads were pretty grounded this week. I think we had grounded it in reality. I didn't go off on a flight of fancy like I do sometimes. But I think the words are there, and I think that helps.
Because I very nearly went down the estuary route myself. Yeah. I've sort of pulled back from that. So, yeah. But it's interesting that I hadn't realised, I suppose it makes sense that she's put the fear of God into her daughter, left, and then sort of come back and said, okay, I know you're brave.
Yeah, well,
I hadn't realised that shift.
Yeah, it was a sort of half leave, It was sort of she thinks, and then she kind of thinks again at the door. But I mean, the estuary bit, I suppose, was dictated by the rest of the family.
Yes,
because I thought it was going to be West Country, but actually it turned out to be estuary. So yeah.
Well, it's worthwhile remembering that these are real scripts we're working on. We've changed names and some details to avoid copyright issues. And while we're on the subject of scripts, you can find both the ones we're using today in the show notes of this episode.
Sharon, tell us a little bit about your script.
Well,
wow.
I mean, I think I struggled a little with it when I was doing it initially, purely because it's quite dry.
Yes.
And it is. It's very dry. And also I was voicing to a video that had already been made.
So you were constrained kind of both ways. Yes.
So, yeah, it's sort of like, well, it's quite dry. I mean, I can obviously bring a bit of warmth to it, obviously. But it was just that moment of you're having to pause for a long time and then suddenly you're racing to get bits done.
And it comes under the heading instructional video, really, doesn't it?
It does. And it's interesting because it's about exams. So presumably you are the reassuring person that, sort of brings them in. Is that why they chose you, do you think?
Probably, yes. I think it was just the fact that it just needs to be something warm, factual. Can't go too wild with it, really.
Yeah.
Bring a dry subject to life, I guess. These exams are for overseas students. So English is not their first language.
So it automatically is also a little bit slower as well. I think we found from scripts that we've done like this in the past. So.
Mm-hmm. What we're up against here is making what is essentially a reasonably dry script feel interesting enough to listen to because presumably this is just a little tiny snippet of it.
Oh, yes, this is a tiny bit. There's so much more after.
So presumably you want me to do this?
I'd love you to go first. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Mary's Well. Thank you for choosing to sit your exam at the York Competence Test Centre. When you arrive at the building, please proceed up the stairs to floor C. The Competence Test Centre reception is located in C5. Here, you'll register your attendance with the receptionist, handing in your original documentation and passport for checking by our staff. You'll then receive the general briefing ahead of your exam. After the briefing, you'll be taken by a member of staff to your allocated bay. Lockers are provided for your personal belongings.
Well, you're going to make me look ordinary, I know that.
No,
it was
lovely. It was so nice. It was like,
I actually thought that was a touch fast for English as a second language.
I thought that in the middle of it. I wondered if you would think that. And then I thought, I'm usually so slow that maybe I'm slow enough. But did you think? I think in the middle I was a bit swift, wasn't I?
I think after C5, you kind of went, I'm halfway and I'm going to go after that. But it was very friendly. The smile was there on your face. It was welcoming, I thought.
Yes.
The sentence that has original documentation and passport was too quick. I was aware of that while I was saying it. Yeah. It's actually really nice to read. I know it sounds ludicrous, but it makes you feel as though you're actually being useful.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I like about it.
Oh,
It's like you're being helpful.
Obviously, I know for a fact, Mark, you tend to go rather rapidly, so...
He'll be good. He'll slow down.
Slow it down. You'll be beautiful, I'm sure.
All right. Well, I'll try. I have done a little bit of English as a second language, and I do have to force myself to go much slower, so we'll see.
Spaceman slow.
Spaceman slow. Welcome to Mary's Well. Thank you for choosing to sit your exam at the York Competence Test Centre. When you arrive at the building, please proceed up the stairs to floor C. The Competence Test Centre reception is located in C5. Here, you will register your attendance with the receptionist, handing in your original documentation and passport for checking by our staff. You will then receive the general briefing ahead of your exam. After the briefing, you will be taken by a member of staff to your allocated bay. Lockers are provided for your personal belongings.
Ooh,
That was nice.
slow.
I thought it was lovely. I could listen to your voice all day, Mark.
I tell you what you did, which is lovely and something that I will take away with me. That complicated information in that sentence with original documentation.
Documentation and passport.
Yeah, and receptionist. There's lots of long words there. And you broke it up by pausing before and passport.
Yeah, deliberately.
And that was, absolutely. I mean, obviously, did you
It
do
was
that
just a
accidentally?
mistake.
Did you know you did that? No. But because I felt as you read that sentence, you were thinking, God, there's a lot of long words for English as a foreign language people.
Exactly right.
And so that was, and because the passport is really important, so I thought that was a really nice little extra there, that little pause before.
Yes, because if it had been for Brits, it would have been an, oi, don't forget your passport.
There was a tendency to original documentation and passport for checking by our staff, but you didn't. You broke it up so it felt really clear.
Yes, I think if we were doing it for a native Brit audience, the musicality of I think it's written with a certain musicality there but that is designed to go faster. But I think the whole English as a second language thing puts a different spin on it, doesn't it?
I think that was right for the audience that we've got here, and exactly what you're doing.
I know exactly what you're saying.
That sort of slowness is even though we feel it might be too slow, I think it's right for this.
This is when Sharon does it 100 miles an hour and says, no, it's all fine.
No.
I'm interested to see what you did, Sharon, because I don't know how many different... We always talk about 100 different ways of reading a script. I don't know how many different ways there could be to do this.
I mean, there's going to be nothing original here, I tell you.
Not original?
I'm not.
Call
I'm
it
not
classic
original.
then.
I'm not original.
Oh, that's it. Classic. Classic.
Classic. Oh.
All right, let's hear what you did.
Okay. Welcome to Mary's Well. Thank you for choosing to sit your exam at the York Competence Test Centre. When you arrive at the building, please proceed up the stairs to floor C. The Competence Test Centre reception is located in C5. Here, you will register your attendance with the receptionist, handing in your original documentation and passport for checking by our staff. You will then receive the general briefing ahead of your exam. After the briefing, you will be taken by a member of staff to your allocated bay. Lockers are provided for your personal belongings.
You split the words up as well in that long sentence.
Yeah,
yes,
you
no,
have
very,
to,
very
really.
noticeable.
You really have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Really friendly and light. I love the lightness of it. So clear.
I'll tell you what came out that I don't think either Sam or I brought out. The word competence. And I think that's quite important in this script. I wonder if it's a driving centre.
It's
this. Do you know what the end client is? What they do?
I know it's NHS.
Oh, it's NHS. Interesting. Because I was just thinking in driving they talk about competence test.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
No, it's NHS.
But in that first sentence, the welcome and the thank you line were really friendly. I think you went way friendlier than either Sam or myself on that.
Well, I have to appreciate these are people from overseas and they're sitting a major exam. They are going to be nervous as hell.
Yeah, good point.
If they're doing an exam not in their first language, just think of the stress levels they're under. Yeah, I was really leaning, that's what I was told, really lean on the welcome and thank you sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important.
That came across too with the allocated bay bit, I felt, at the end in the lockers. Because that could sound quite sinister.
It really
You're going
could.
to be taken to an allocated bay and lockers are provided. We're going to lock
and
you
your
away.
friends will never see you again.
Yeah.
No, it's not that.
Yeah. So and you made that feel as though actually it was going to be quite a nice thing to do.
Yes.
And the lockers were a good thing.
Play, how do you say that?
And now it is time for the wild card bit, Sharon. So, can you pick one of the scripts for Mark or me and give us a new direction?
Oh, right now. Okay. I'm going to choose script 2 for Mark.
Okay.
And
Okay.
And the genre I have chosen is you are an 8-year-old doing the nativity play.
Oh, this is so much up his street.
They came
That's
from
clever.
the east, type, that sort of thing.
What were you like as a little boy? Did you do
I was a
nativity at your
precocious
you?
child. Surprise! I don't think that is. Bear in mind, my mum was a drama teacher.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh my God! No wonder you turned up like you did.
Well, quite. I'm going to take that as
Fair
a compliment.
enough.
I don't think it was meant as one.
It is absolutely
Right.
meant as well. This is
8-year-old.
perfect for you.
8-year-old. All right,
Perfect.
on stage.
Okay.
8 years old. 8 years old.
Oh,
That's fine.
fabulous!
Welcome to Mary's Well. Thank you for choosing to sit your. Thank you for choosing to sit your exam at the York Competence Test Centre. When you arrive with the baby... Oh, no, not yet. When you arrive on the donkey, please proceed up the stairs. Leave the donkey at the bottom. The Competence Test Centre reception is located in C5. Here you will register your attendance with the receptionist, handing in your original documentation and myrrh and frankincense for checking by our staff. You will then receive the general briefing ahead of your exam. After the briefing, you will be taken by a member of staff to the bay, where you will see the baby Jesus in the stable. Lockers are provided.
You extemporised a lot around this, didn't you?
I was quite getting into it. I saw myself. I
were,
saw the
you
mums
were.
and dads out in the audience.
Well.
Well.
I loved it. I could see you. You had one sock down,
Yeah.
and you were trying very, very hard.
Yes.
Was it everything you'd hoped for, Sharon?
Oh, and more. It was delightful.
and more. Exactly.
Everything I needed and more.
So it's my turn to give Sharon an idea. So Sharon, I would like you also to do script 2,
Yeah.
and I would like you to be an air stewardess.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And you are head honcho air stewardess.
Oh, of course. Right.
You're in charge of the whole place, the whole plane. Obviously, you're doing it in the middle of the aisle, but you have got new people on board, new staff, and you are going to show them exactly how to do this brilliantly.
Okay. Right.
Nice.
Take it away.
We've got this. Welcome to Mary's Well. Thank you for choosing to sit your exam at the York Competence Test Centre. When you arrive at the building, please proceed up the stairs to floor C. Please check behind you in case the emergency exit is behind you. Look around. Here, you will register your attendance with the receptionist, handing in your original documentation and passport for checking by our staff. You will then receive the general briefing ahead of your time. Ahead of your time? You will then...
Nice.
Wow, okay. After the briefing, you will be taken by a member of staff to your allocated bay where you must fasten your seatbelt and keep it fastened at all times during the flight. Thank you.
You did this lovely sing-song thing through that. I like that. But that was nice because I've heard flight attendants do that.
Oh, we've all heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love watching them do all the actions with the, when things come down and over here. And I love the way they're all in time with each other. I think it's amazing.
Well, I was moving my hands.
That was brilliant.
Doing the hand thing.
Yes.
It's like, and this way, and behind you. I
could tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it had a really nice rhythm to it. Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Sam, I had also prepared one for script 2, but I'm going to pivot as well today. So I'm going to go back to script 1, but I am going to put you in a boxing ring. And you are the announcer in the boxing ring, announcing the boxers coming in the kind of let's get ready to rumble style.
Okay.
Which is about as far away from this script as it possibly could be, I think.
Yes. Okay. I'll do my best. Okay. If someone comes knocking, and they might, don't go flinging the door open like you do for the hens. Watch 'em through the glass first. And if they ask for me, don't say my name right. Ellyn, not Ellyn or Ellie. Don't trust a word out of their mouth. If they say they're from the keep, ask 'em who braided your hair last winter solstice. If they can't answer, bolt the door. Don't let them in. I know you're brave. Braver than me some days, but there are things walking the roads now that wear borrowed smiles. Don't you forget. Now, Mia!
Woo!
And Mia comes charging into the ring. I love it.
So the theme from Rocky.
No, I did it the other way round. They were already there.
Oh, I saw Mia kind of wandering
in the middle.
Oh, interesting.
In the middle, I was
Okay.
getting the two of them together and I was starting the fight.
Oh, it's always nice to hear you do a big character like that.
Is it? I didn't think I did it very well, so I didn't think I got the rhythms right or anything like that. But
Sharon, you could see her in the ring there, couldn't you?
Definitely. I see that with that microphone, the one that you pull down from the ceiling, one of those microphones.
Oh, yeah.
In the blue corner. That sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to do, but I don't quite think I pulled it off at all, in fact. But it's one of those ones that if you were actually asked to do it, you would go and watch a few to get the rhythm right.
Yeah.
But hey.
Well, as always, we've put the scripts in the show notes so you can have a try at it at home yourself.
Now, Sharon, you have managed to pull off quite a pivot in your career from a qualified accountant to a voice actor. A bold and brave thing to do. So what was your approach? How did you manage it?
It was about 2015, I think it was. Yes, 2015. Essentially, they were having a review of the pension system. I know, exciting. And they sent us out all this stuff. Woohoo! Exactly. It told me, obviously been working, for over 20 years doing this. And it occurred to me that I still had over 20 years before I could retire. I honestly had no idea what I was going to do.
What was your light bulb moment then?
I'd started singing with the choir, so was getting interested in how to look after my voice and things like that. And it was essentially someone had asked me to do a voiceover for a video they'd done because they thought I had a nice voice. It's that usual thing. Oh, you've got a nice voice. You can do this. Oh, okay. I found out it wasn't as straightforward as that. I really enjoyed it. I thought, this is fun. I need to find out more about this. Went to one voice conference.
Which is the best way to meet people,
It is.
let's face it. If you go
brilliant.
to, not necessarily that one, but conferences and networking like that with other voice actors.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I try to get to the voiceover social north as much as I can, or any social that I can find.
Yeah.
Because it's good to meet people and chat and find out what they're up to. And everyone's got different things and so on and so forth.
I want to know what your advice is to other people who are thinking of a pivot that may be on the cusp of thinking about voiceover but haven't taken a jump. Any advice?
Well, the more flippant part of me says, do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I know. Yeah. But if you're not feeling bold enough to just go, right, I'm quitting my job, or you've got a huge mortgage and it's like you can't really afford to do that, then try it part-time. Have a go. At least try.
Yeah.
It could be just a minor thing. At this moment in time, people can create their own content very easily. A lot easier than, say, 10 years ago.
Easier than any other time in history.
Absolutely.
Yes.
People can create their own
Yeah.
stuff, provide their own voiceover. It's easy to get the equipment. You can do it. You can play around and have a go. I mean, even if it's not necessarily voiceover and you want to try something else, find a way in. You don't have to give up everything to do this one thing that you want to do. Try it.
Your approach was to research it all at the beginning and just find out about as much as you could about it.
I knew that training was the key. That I obviously had
Yep.
to try and do things, and I was, slowly putting myself out there, even in the local community, sort of like with businesses, say in Wakefield in the local area in Leeds, and just going to networking events there. Because I was probably the only voiceover that was turning up. Hello,
Yeah.
I can promote your stuff. I can do your out of office messages. It's brilliant. And it's sort of like just building up that clientele.
So often, Sam, it comes back to networking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. And also, nobody's born being a voiceover.
No.
Nobody. And so everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts by, giving it a go, by seeing if it is something that they find both enjoyable and reasonably straightforward. I think if it's an absolute slog, then it may or may not be for you. I think it's a fun job, but I'm fascinated, though, because one would have assumed that as an accountant you were risk averse, and it's one of the... So I am fascinated by that mindset that must have changed somewhere.
Well, here's the thing. I worked very much in risk management. A lot of that, and this happens to me an awful lot. My natural thing is to think, what is the worst thing that can happen?
You're right.
The biggest risk I could do in voiceover is I turn up, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why I did the training. In my mind, I'm that sort of person. I've already planned out what can go wrong and thought about how I can mitigate that. I know it sounds odd, but...
It's a very sensible approach, yeah.
It's a really good approach because it allows you then to explore things that possibly feel like they might be out of your comfort zone, but aren't necessarily. And with a little bit of, with a bit of training or a bit of information or a bit of, whatever, a bit of research can absolutely become part of your wheelhouse.
When I first started, it really was a case of, because initially you think voiceover, you just, talk over this and it's fine. And then when you go into that world and you find out there are so many different areas of voiceover you can go into.
Oh, Sharon, thank you so much for coming
No
on the
problem.
podcast. It was a very good discussion, that. A reminder that all of Sharon Dominey's details can be found in the show notes.
Yes, of course. And the scripts are in the show notes too. And do hit the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Okay, that's it for this week. Thanks again to Sharon Dominey. We'll be back next week with more scripts and another voiceover guest, when we'll be asking, Sharon, this is where we do the title of the show altogether, if you remember. We'll be asking,
How do you say that?
How do you say that?